Hello everybody, welcome once again to the end of year review, Christmas special kind of thing. We did it last year, so we thought we'd mark the end of our second year on the channel by doing it again. What we're going to do is we're going to do a little review of what we've done this year, what the channel has achieved, which has been, we've achieved good growth again this year, in our second year, and maybe a little bit of what's coming up next year. So what I did in last year's Christmas thingy, it's the only video of the year I write stuff down, so everything else is just made up as we go along. I wasn't sure where to record it this year because it's been windy and because it's been windy and rainy for weeks on end now. So you can see I'm sat in a tractor, where this is where most of it happens. So I thought I'd come sit in the tractor because this is where most of it happens anyway. But as you can see, we're in the shed. You can see the fodder beet's behind us. The big tractor's sat up and behind us as well. Nothing's happening today. So I thought I'd come in here. There's no wind. Get out of the way of the wind noise. Right. So here's a list of what I want to say to you so I don't forget stuff. Because normally I just make up as I go along. But today I want to actually cover a few bits and pieces. And got to make sure we get it all in. Right, so as the end of our second year, everything is gone up. We've gone up in subscriber numbers, comments have gone up, views have gone up massively, and everything is going very well. All the comments are gratefully received. I do read every one of them, and I reply to as many as I can that I think need a reply. And if you do you find the little picture and the little heart thing by the side of it, you know I have read it and I have kind of acknowledged it. That's what that means. So we ended the year subscriber numbers of 4,416, and I haven't watched last year's video, but I've got a feeling this time last year we were 726, I think it was. So we've had a massive increase over the year, so thank you to everyone that has come along in the year, and thank you for all the comments, because I do enjoy reading them, and because a lot of stuff people around the world tell me how they do things in their country, or they do things different than we do, and it's always interesting to know that things happen differently in other countries. Often things don't happen the same all over the world. So while we're talking about the world, last year I went through the top 5 countries of what gets viewed. Again, I don't remember what they are, but I'm going to run through them for this year. So top is UK, which is kind of expected, and Ireland is close behind, which is, we're close by, so it would be. Third place is the USA. Fourth place is the Netherlands, and we've got 2 joint 5th places this year, so that's Germany and Canada, both on equal views. So it's good to see how far around the world we do go, which is much farther than I was expecting. So the most watched video that we have had this year, it came out back in January actually. That was the introduction I did to the 1200 when we got that, when that first came, and that received a lot of comments, and a lot of people who actually used them when they were proper working machines. A lot of comments of people that had driven them at the time, and close behind that in views was actually when we changed the mowers. We bought 2 new mowers, and that was kind of a close second in viewer numbers. My favourite video that we've made this year is actually our first silage video that we did when we did some early first cut in May. For those 3 videos I've just mentioned, what I'll do is I'll put a little thingy up here, so if you haven't seen them, you can click on those and watch them, and then come back, and you've got to finish this one as well, so don't disappear halfway through. So that's it. So that's kind of everything I've written down, so we can forget that now. Now I'm lost for stuff to say. So a couple of the highlights we've had this year. I've actually managed to meet entirely via this YouTube channel. I have got in touch with an old school friend. He was watching the videos and he kind of thought, oh, that looks a bit like, I know him, used to know him. And we got back in touch. So I need to say hello to James and Lorna and their children. And a happy Christmas and a happy New Year to you and your family. And also, back in May, I was just mooching around at a vintage machinery auction, and a gentleman came up to me and said hello and introduced himself, that he watches the stuff on YouTube. And as through the course of conversation and time went on, I actually got to know him a little bit, got to meet him properly and his family, and they actually sold me a machine that I have now got into my collection of vintage machinery. So hopefully that's something that's going to come up, you will see next year. So I need to say hello to Matt and his family, and thank you for your support and selling me something. So those really were the two highlights. Without this channel, none of that would have happened. So, you know, so that's good news all round. So the biggest change we had here this year on the farm, I've just mentioned it, that was changing to two mowers. That was, you know, it was a big expense for us to buy those mowers, but it was well worthwhile. It made a big difference during our season, you know, for the mowing. So for the coming year, 2020, so for the coming year, there is no big changes planned. We're not going to do any big purchases like that. We may have a small machinery purchase that will become evident in the springtime. We will cover that if it happens. It probably will, but you know, we're not 100% on it yet. So that'll be coming up in the springtime. So I am a bit particular on the channel. I do like to get one video out a week. I've kind of fell into a Sunday evening around 6 o'clock UK time of when it comes out. I've missed it. I've missed that deadline a few times, and during the last few weeks, end of November into December, I've actually missed weeks altogether, which is a bit annoying for me because I do like to keep things going. But when there's nothing happening, it's because of the rain. You know, it's still wet now. That's not changed, so we can't do anything. I did explain that in the fodder week video, so that's why it's been quiet. I do have a few things planned for January. There's a couple more in the 1200 restoration, not restoration, in the 1200 series. There's two more of them to come. One is filmed and one is almost filmed, but it's not edited yet, so that'll be coming up in January. Hopefully over the Christmas time I can record another little video. It's just something silly we're just going to do. It's kind of tractor related, but it's not really farming related, but that's just going to be something to come up in January. Other than that, there's going to be no big changes on the channel. It's going to carry on. Next year we'll carry on the same. I want to maintain one a week again if I can. Sometimes I manage two, but it's not very often, so I would much rather keep to one a week than, you know, when we're real busy, put out a few and then have a gap. So that's why I spread them out as I do, unless there's a video that needs to be quite, you know, that needs to come out close to its time, then I might put an extra one out. Something I was going to try it this year, but I never kind of got the opportunity, but I want to try next year is do a live feed stream thingy, whatever they call it. It's got to be done on the phone. I can't do it. Well, I don't think I can do it from the GoPro, you know, upload it direct. I don't think that works. I think I've got to do it on the phone. So that's something I'm going to look into for next year, because I think that would be interesting. Get a bit of live interaction. Although I am conscious that a lot of the views to my channel come in the evening time. So how it's going to work, I don't know yet. But that's something I aim to plan for next year, is to try a few live thingies. You know, if I can try a sort of midweek or something, you know, to keep something happening. Other than that, I think that's kind of just a little quick roundup. My version of the Queen's speech and all that. Don't mention Prince. We won't be mentioning Prince Andrew, so we'll just carry on. So I think we'll end it here. I'll just say thank you very much for watching all year. Thank you for your support, your subscriptions and your views and your comments. Please do, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. I don't like saying that, but it does work when you do say it. I mean, it just seems a bit like you're begging for subscribers, which I'm not doing. I just want it to grow as it grows. So it just leaves me to wish you a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I will hope to see you all again next year as we follow the year through again.